Hello, everyone. This is Sharon with Entelechy Visions, and this is an energy update for the week of November 25th through December 1st. So we are finally finishing up this long inward month of November, and the scorpionic deep dive we've been going through the underworld in this Mercury retrograde season. So this began all the way back in mid-October with some of these themes that have been surfacing, these underworld themes, and really kind of scanning over our lives of what we want and what we truly don't want anymore, and really allowing these truths to rise to the surface over the course of November or mid-October into November, and shining a light on the areas where we felt somewhat imprisoned or we felt very limited by something that we really no longer wanted to put up with because we were just not feeling resonant with it anymore, or certain patterns that have been deeply embedded. And I know I've been speaking about these themes and these processes for some time because we really have been diving into this for the course of this fall season. So we're now completing that. We've done this Scorpio dive, and we are moving towards a new moon this week on Tuesday, which will be in the sign of Sagittarius. So we are exiting the Scorpio time, which we've done a lot of powerful and at times really not fun work, to move into this sign that's more about the adventure, more about lightness, expansion, moving from the heart. And this retrograde might have felt a little bit more deep and heavy at the same time than it usually does, because we are exiting this entire year of doing this purging work. So the majority of 2019 has been this processing of all of these truths, of releasing what no longer works. And this has truly really been a year of getting to the core, getting to the true value of what matters for us and in our life, and aligning ourselves more towards that truth. So releasing anything that might be standing in the way of that. So this has been a gigantic year of preparation. And so this retrograde has served the purpose to kind of clean up all of that, to really reassess and to show us maybe the attachments that we were still clinging on to. And this new moon is marking that period of almost like a breaking free from the chains, that we've assessed all these truths, we have come to the terms of what we want to let go of, and this new moon will be like a gateway opening for us to really break free from all of that, to begin to rise again, almost like a gulping of fresh air after we've been underwater for a very long time. So this moon is marking this quickening. It's bringing this quickening into our lives of the December month, which is going to move us towards the eclipse season at the end of the month, right around Christmas. And eclipses come in pairs. They always come in a sandwich, solar and lunar eclipses. And the first one is going to be a solar, and I share that here just so we can kind of amp up and prepare ourselves for that. Eclipses are like cosmic wild cards for our lives, and they can really shift things on deep levels, but also prepare us for things or release things. And so having this quickening and entering December, knowing the eclipse is going to be happening around Christmas, we have the following eclipse happening in the new year, in January, a lunar eclipse. And that particular eclipse is going to be falling around that big conjunction point that I've been talking about. So you have a certain alignment that hasn't happened for eons. I believe since the year around 1500. So not to get too technical, but it's a very powerful alignment that has a lot of talk around it as a year of really big change. So we start the year off with this potent alignment, and not to get too ahead of ourselves, but just to kind of put this all into perspective, that we are entering this new moon cycle this week that is going to begin all of that shifting in the course of December and then into January. And as we get closer to that alignment, you may feel more of that expansion in your life, this quickening, but underneath that expansion is almost like a hesitancy at the same time, because we are moving towards that period. So there is a little bit of overly sensitive energy within us, because we're really desiring to expand and share our hearts, but there is this sensitive quality to that as well. So throughout this coming month, it will really be a time to do things a little bit differently in our life, to rise up to our full potential, to really share our hearts in a new way, and to expand to our next level. And you may already be feeling that in your life, that you're being called to this next level. You're being called to rise up to your fullness. You're being called to step up in a new way. So to really listen to that and to lead with your heart, to lead with your joy, to lead with your bliss, and to allow that to move you towards your unlimited potential. Because this can also be a period of deep connection, of deep union with others, whether that is in partnership or whether that is in relating to others in friendship or business. And when we relate on such a deep level, we can then expand even more, because as we build community and we build connection with others, we're building that energetic vibration between us, and it expands, it ripples out, and allows us to create even more for our path ahead, not just personally either, because this has really been a year where we have undergone a lot of self journey, self-awareness, self-work, shadow work, and really deep diving into the individual. And now will really be a time to connect with others more deeply, to allow it to be more about the we, allow it to be more about the collective and how we can all shape a new cycle together, instead of just that individual deep diving, which has its purpose, it has its value. And the more that we do that, and the more that we have done that and really looked at ourselves in that way, and really kind of dissected all the minute details of our inner shadow and really known ourselves and released a lot, the greater that we can show up to the table to meet with others and connect on a deeper level, because we truly know the value of what we are bringing to that table, because we know ourselves more deeply. So that inner work has its purpose in such a deep way, because we can now move from a place of very valued and clear, authentic truth, for what we are bringing, what we are creating, and the skills that we have to share. So this is a beautiful time to really allow your heart to expand even more. And I know that can feel a little vulnerable, especially if you've been doing a lot of deep diving, a lot of inward work, and especially after this past month of November, where that inner deep dive work may have felt a little lonely. If you've been going so far in and you've been looking at your own stuff, or you're just being called to be a little bit more inward during this experience, during this process, to come out and expand can feel like blinding light after being in a dark room. So it can feel very sensitive and vulnerable. But in that experience, to really allow your heart to guide you, to allow your heart to lead the way, and to trust that as you expand and as you let yourself open more, that you'll be shown these next steps. You'll be guided to the people that you need to connect to for this next phase of your life. And you'll also be shown how sharing your heart can help others. And that as you share your heart, you can share not only the value of what you can offer with that, but also sharing the concepts or the stories of what you have been through, what you have been challenged by, that can influence or help and support others. So your journey of challenge, your difficulties can be a light in the dark for other people. So as we move towards the rest of this year, we have one more month left of this potent year. And I know we have been through quite a bit. And we're now entering the holiday season where the pace can quicken just with that. So there could be a lot of frenetic energy, and even surrounding this new moon, as we're starting to bubble up and rise to the surface and rise to this new expression for ourselves, there could be an anxious quality to that as we get swept up in that rising energy, and also the effects of the holidays and all the busyness and people doing things and tending to so much. So this is a really, really important time of year, not just for the holidays, but for 2019 in general, as we are entering this new cycle, to ground, to really find your root. And it's a really good time to navigate your self-care through this period so that you're not too swept up in that anxiousness. To let yourself ground into the planet, to walk outside, give yourself some nature time, and to root your feet into the earth and find that steady center through this all, even if it's chilly where you are. So if you need additional support at this time, I offer remote sessions or in-person sessions in Arizona. You can learn more at entelekivisions.com. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and thank you for listening.